is this?
Good day to you, partner. I'm Guy, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
This is a chemical burn. It will hurt more than you've ever been burned, and you will have a scar.
What are you doing?
Guided meditation worked for cancer. It could work for this.
Stay with the pain. Don't shut this out.
No, God!
Look at your hand. The first soap was made from the ashes of heroes, like the first monkey shot into space. Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing.
I tried not to think of the words searing or flesh.
Stop! This is your pain. This is your burning hand. It's right here.
Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. This is the dissertation, the hard work put in by Topwug over the course of season 3 heading into season 4. The guy played, I don't know about more Necro than I ever have, but I mean the guy did a lot in season 3. So I'm pretty impressed. Sorry. Okay, I don't want to make this video that long. I feel like the way he wrote this, I could probably talk about this for hours. Thanks for his shout outs. The guy's gonna make me cry probably. You gotta understand, like, some people think I'm like a hater when it comes to summons, and like that was never ever my point. My point was to always put everything into perspective. And although I played Skelly's season 1 when they were like basically dog shit until very, very in game. I mean, even in game, you could have said clay golems were better, and like, I don't know if I could have argued it really. I mean, I did argue it. I think if I went back now and I didn't have to prove Skelly's were better, I used to say they were tied, but like just the fact you have 20 more points to put into curses, clay golems are better because they had very similar map clear speeds. And so, yeah, but you know, I've been repping Skelly's ever since. I did take the season off in season 3. And here we are going into season 4. And season 4, it's going to be kind of like what he's saying, which is like, season 1 summons were more one play style, and even then there was actual variability to it. But once season 2 came around, your ability to mix and match summon skills increased greatly. That had to do with the improvement to Skelly Warriors, the constant consistency of Golem Mastery, and I guess the nerfing of Revives, because Revives was always a skill you just kind of used in season 1. It's kind of funny because it was always kind of overrated because it was single target only. But they were hard not to use because there were a lot of situations where single target is what you wanted. And now it's like skeletons, you could just run archers. You could just run warriors. You could just run mages. And like you could do that before, but now you have like more of an incentive to do so. So anyways, I mean, I could literally just ramble and ramble and ramble about all of the amazing things Necro summons can experience in the world of PD2 in season 1, 2, 3, and now 4. But let's just kind of get to the... Which, I mean, maybe I'll make a longer video at some point. How about that? I'm sure you guys would love to watch that. Let's look at his BIS gear. Try and go through it quick. All right, Blue Circuit, easy. Blue Amulet, easy. Necro Head, easy. The one thing I'd like to add here is it's not BIS. I'm sure he goes into it. But save every Necro Head and craft them, because you can't roll this. Oh, he actually wrote this wrong. That's funny. You can get +3/+3. Oh shit, typo. So with a crafted, you could get +2/+3 or +5 total, not counting cores. But with magic, you can actually get +3 and +3. Oh, he's showing his BIS gear. Oh, now I get it. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. My B. Yeah, so pure BIS would be +3, +3, +3. But he didn't get that season. I think that's what's going on here. Anyways, let's look at this. Yeah. I actually think Act 1 will be in-game in Season 4 for solo play. For group play, I will never play anymore without Doom. I would never, ever, ever do it because stomping is just too dangerous with the way the game has changed. Anything I disagree with here? I think FHR for Necro Summoners is overrated on a charm, but you need to hit breakpoints. I think 56 is fine, but if you want to hit 86, go for it. But you should hit a pretty nice breakpoint just with your gear alone. But yeah, it's like, that's a viable option. I just think 45 life is the best charm any Necro can have unless they need FHR, which, trust me, get it. Necros have shit frames. We have shit life. So it's like, do what you need to do to get it going. Everything else looks fine here. Corruption, exactly. On some of these NAs, the corruption doesn't matter. So just do what you want. Like, he puts lightning res on this. What is that about? I don't know. Is that his gear or is that the BIS core? I don't know. That's funny. Oh, yeah. I guess it is his core. Yeah, there's no real optimal. I mean, actually, for Wisp, it would be 10 FCR, to be honest, especially if you need to hit another breakpoint. FCR is very good as a summoner in a group play, trust me, because you'll always keep one Wisp on, because you'll be casting lots of curses. Yep. Standard stuff. Pick up all ammies. It's really good, guys. Shop wands, okay? It's really simple. Make a cow portal or do Drognin. Just walk in and out of the cow portal right next to Akara, or walk in and out of the map right next to Drognin. Buy yourself a nice wand. Don't complain to me about how shitty your gear is in hell if you can't do anything. Okay, yeah, so it was his gear. Yeah, I get it. Huh, that's actually not a bad core, except for on this it is. That's hilarious. I remember when he got this item. Like, that's... You might never see this. It's like, yeah, that's sick. To be honest, this is one of my favorite items for my Skelly Summoner. It should be your favorite item. I don't know what the hell would be better. Look at this piece of shit. It's not perfect. Only +2. Piece of shit. This is amazing. By the way, Arms of King Lyric might not be changed to summon 2 additional skeleton archers. I think it was intended for them to change it. If they don't, it's probably because they ran out of time. They might say they never intended to, but I feel like they've done that before when they just ran out of time. I don't know. It doesn't really matter either way. So don't expect it. Yep, Trangs +1. Never talk to me about this again, guys. Trangs +1 is the best armor. There is some validity to Arcanes. It was buffed. It's just, I still think there's no way it's better than this. 40 for RW. The res is okay. It has poison res, which isn't good, but it is a problem. You do want to make sure you're capped. Gives you +5 to Blood Warp. There's so many reasons it's so good. But Arcanes looks really cool. So there you go. All right. Grave Palms. Yep. Wisp. Boring stuff. By the way, having a good Arachnid Mesh isn't the dumbest thing in the world, because when you get really geared, you don't need to swap off your tanky gear, even for doing Ubers. Like, you'll just kill shit so quick you don't need to. So having a 20 or 20 plus FCR Arachnid Mesh is actually not that stupid. Meryl walks, blah, 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 blah. Oh, by the way, CTA will be better than ever. I'm going to try to include some notes about Season 4. I'll try to get this done as quickly as I can. I have class tomorrow. Since the base damage of Skeleton Archers is over 1,000 with very obtainable gear, and with Skeleton Warriors, it will be in the 300s with obtainable gear, CTA is better than ever. I've always said it's the first thing you should prioritize in a season. Now, does that mean if you get a good offer for a perfect Larix, don't take it? No, take it. Like, take anything. You get a +1 Trangs early on, go ahead, grid it. I don't care. But in general, the priority is this: CTA, Fana, Larix. You could argue Larix above Fana, but I've always thought that your source of Fana makes you more consistent rather than just having your 2 additional skeletons. Especially with archers. If they don't put 2 additional archers, you're going to want the source of Fana, because archers are just nuts. They have over 1,000 base damage, guys, okay? So that means a battle command, even if it's only 50% ED, that's 500 more damage for every one of your arches. That's 4,000 damage total. Nuts. All right, Act 5 Merc, the classic. He goes max DS. This is actually a problem right now. By the way, Act 5 does not have FHR. He never encounters hit recovery. Act 5 Merc has upsides and downsides. Upside, no FHR, because he never does frame recovery. He's stupid, smarter than in regular, but I still think Act 2 is smarter. His range isn't very good, but he has very high health regen. Act 2 is the classic best Merc if you don't need to run Act 5 or Act 1 for some other purpose. But summoners like might, so that's why Act 5, and also, for the Runeword Beast or Fanaticism in Act 1. This gear will no longer be BIS. This is just your max DS setup. You can look it up yourself. Okay, it's Gore Riders, it's Nos Belt, Grave Palms. Oh, that's actually, he might have gotten cores on it. I think that glove is actually a Blood Fist. Not a Blood Fist. Drax. My problem. My bad. Dracul's Grasp. Tooth Row, G-Face, Upped, and then a Beast. Basically, you just hit 100 DS. Let's see, did he hit it? Or is he close? I feel like he might just be close, depending on course. God, I can't find Deadly Strike. I'm such an idiot. I don't look at these anymore, okay? Where the fuck is Deadly Strike? Why am I so stupid? Oh, here it is. Oh, 78? Why are you running Drax Grasp? What is this? I gotta read this now that we disagree on something. For Act 5 Merc, the gear is pretty open. 125 IAS. What? Woog, what are you doing? You only need like 40 IAS with an axe, you tard. What is this? Is this because of like Decrep or something? All right, we're going to have to talk about this. Act 5 Merc also has an advantage of he doesn't need a lot of IAS in general. Act 2 Merc needs a lot of IAS. It's partly also because of the weapons they use. So this is pointless. Unless there's something about he's worried about Decrepify. Now, the DS, I would just go Grave Palms here. But it's not a big deal. And again, next season, Deadly Strike is being nerfed. And I think Act 1 will be endgame. Act 5, of course, will always be good. And in group play, it's Doom. Whatever you got to do, get a Doom on. It just makes your stomping so much safer. All right, he's going to explain dumb shit. Let's see. Why the Dracul's Grasp? Oh, he's got dead DS on it. But you don't need all this IAS, so I don't know what you're doing. Is he just got the IAS because he has sick fucking jewels? Oh, maybe. But still, maybe he just never wanted to buy a Grave Palm with a Deadly Strike core. Because basically, it would be very similar at this point. Like, it wouldn't even matter since he's got 9 from that. I guess 18, but it's a pretty sick Drac Grasp, actually. I gotta admit. Alright, what's going on? Does he mention that the IAS... Okay, he does. All right. He says right here, you only need 30 additional IAS. In fact, that's Etanax. Okay, that's probably right. All right, yeah. That's actually a pretty sick Drac Grasp. I don't think that's BIS, but it's such good rolls. Like, I don't know if I could not wear it either. Yeah, that's sick. Tooth Row, only 2 sockets. What a nerd. Anyways, he's got the sick G-Face, though. That's pretty sick, I gotta admit. Almost perfect, too. 45, 120. Wow. So yeah, he's just showing off a little bit with his gear. I wonder if that's actually helped him out. But anyways, CBF Gore is very important. Act 1 Merc, blah, 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 blah. Typical stuff. I guess it's going to be more important, but yeah, Team Might and a Faith. Easy stuff, guys. Skill tips and tool. We're not going to go over this because this all changed. Now, there is interesting information in all of this, I'm sure. I would love to talk about it. Curses. Amp is the best for solo play. I love the Tri-Curse setup. I literally came up with this. You might go, you probably didn't. It's like, I think I really did. At least as a summoner, stomping in groups, playing Tri-Curse Necro. Amp is great. The sweet spot is like, sure. This is fine. I think the sweet spot's 33. It kind of depends on what you're doing. If you're doing Ubers a lot, then yes, you want to hit 50. If you're just operating in maps without fizz damage dealers, 33 is fine. But if you're playing solo and you're maxing amp, it doesn't matter. but it caps at 60. That's important. Decrepify is like the best thing in the goddamn world. You can't use it on Ubers anymore, but yeah, it was pretty broken. Anyways, it's very, very good. I love it. Curse Mastery, one of the best skills Necromancers have. Buffs all curses. That also gives you ability to cast more curses. Life Tap, 1 point wonder. Dim Vision, 1 point wonder. Lower resist, depending on your group. And next season will be better than ever because of the Elemental Revive build. Let's move forward because I'm just going to take all day doing this. I could talk about this for so long. Jesus. Steel Shade. It got buffed. Use it. By the way, do you want a +1 skill core? Yes. Actually, the BIS swap would be +1 all skill 2 sockets. The reason is plus all skills still buff curses and blood warp and other crap like that. So yes, that would be BIS. Nice Storm Shield 3 sockets. I actually think, wow, look at the PDR though. I actually think this is not BIS. It's either 3 sockets. Why do you have 3 ums? That's so weird. But anyways, I think the 2 best versions of a Storm Shield for a Necromancer is perfect PDR with a PDR core, 2 sockets, or 3 sockets, perfect PDR. The other rolls don't really matter. Strength is always nice because more stats means more fight. Easy res cap. I wonder why he was short on res. I've never been short on res. Oh, Nub loves this. The Spirit Ward, I would never use this, but it is kind of cute. You get +3 all skills. The stats aren't terrible, and you get the lesser fade. That also helps your curses out, so that's cute. I might go into that more later on. Let's see. Verdungos. I think the best core here is actually all res core, but those are very expensive. What's this? Oh, FCR core. Nice. 29 too. That's pretty good. 48 FCR breakpoint? You're insane. I would never play Tricurse Necro in a group without 75 FCR. You're nuts, dude. 48, which is very nice. This guy's an insane. Oh, he's got the progression tips. Yeah. Kind of what I've already gone through. I'm not going to go over this too much. One thing is sure. I like this little tip. I'm not even going to say it. The other tip is this. When you're finding shields, you can also do the rune words, the +1 skill rune words. I believe it's Rhyme and Splendor. So if you find a white necro head that has like +3 skeleton warrior, +3 skeleton archer, +3 revive, blah, blah, blah. If it has 2 sockets or you roll 2 sockets onto it, there's a cube recipe to rolling sockets on white items. Then throw like shale bath or some crap. They're pretty cheap rune words, and it's actually very solid. In fact, there were builds that used to use +4 rune word shields for snapshotting way back in the boony days. The boons. What do we got going on here? Oh, yeah, this is dumb. I would never do this. Especially now. Well, I guess now there's actually more of an argument to drop Larix, but that would be if you're not prioritizing warriors. That would be like very complicated in-game stuff where you're just kind of doing what you'd like. So now we got onto Season 4. Clay Golems were buffed. I don't think they'll be good enough to just like invest in, but at least they gave you possibly an option to use that new rune word. The big change here is this. This is why Ellie revives are so good now. This is super important. There's an in-game build based around elemental revives. It's eternity, fanaticism, and infinity. And it smashes face, dude. It's awesome. There's also a budget Ellie build, which is based around elemental revives, lower resist, and Act 3 Merc. Act 3 Merc should be nerfed, but he should still be very good. I didn't think it was a problem, but there were people who were complaining that he was too good on a budget. But it's like he's been bad for so long, and it's whatever. Fizz revives are dead. They're very okay budget. I don't think they're even worth reviving budget. I would just play elemental revives, especially because they're at least fun. Ghoul Lords or Hierophants. They're really your only 2 options, but you can play around. Skeleton Warriors. This is the remember I said their base damage is super high. Yeah, it's It's nutty. Magi were buffed a lot. I think they're pointless still, but maybe we'll see one more change before it goes live. There was some whispers about maybe they'd be buffed one more time, but I don't really care. We got archers, and archers are nuts. Blood golems were buffed and then nerfed. They're still insane, but they're way like when I was doing poison with blood golem, they were doing like 50 health per hit, easy, like not even trying. Now they're, what would it be, 8, and then like 30 skill levels isn't that hard to do, trust me. 38. Still 38 health, which is much more reasonable. And that would be like in-game situations, but oh, my battery's running low. That's not good. Let me actually deal with that real quickly. Crisis averted. Where was I at? Let's do this. Mercenary and pet AI have been drastically improved across the board. One of the main buffs to this is unstuck. If you don't know what stuck is or clump as a necromancer, don't worry about it. Just know your life is good and you don't understand what it used to be like. It used to be very awful. Frame lock used to be 15 frames. What that means is every time, almost every summon in the game, there were a few weird exceptions, like winged threshers seemed to ignore it at some points, which I always thought was interesting. But basically, every pet in the game would wait 15 frames between actions. That's been cut to 10 frames, which is a huge DPS buff. In fact, on its own, it's nearly a 20% DPS buff to summons. Like, just your summons got 20% better. And there's another side to it. Since it has to do with removing a idol, they feel better too, and they actually perform better than the 20% sheet buff. So one of the problems with summons was always that they were better on paper than in gameplay, although I would always argue they were bad in both, but there's a lot of people out there who don't understand how good builds are in PD2. They're now better on paper and better during play, so it's awesome, trust me. By the way, blood golems apply open wounds, cool little trick. You can just summon some of those when you're doing Ubers. Smash them, many Ubers, smash them, easy stuff. This is one of the biggest changes. Okay? This is the best blood warp the game has ever seen. Maybe the Season 3 beta blood warp was better. I'm not even sure. Or maybe I'm confusing it with another blood warp in a beta. There was like one other really good blood warp. But this might be the best blood warp we've ever had. I complained Season 1 that it should have been current health, not max health. I didn't get it. It was a huge issue because if there was a barb in the group, it was actually worse for him to buff me than if he didn't, because my health would go up to like 3,500, and every time I'd blood warp, I would drop, 400, 500 health. It was no good. Trust me. So takeaways. I think I'm just going to skip this. I'm sure it's what I already went over. Here's damage numbers. Now, the damages are still inaccurate. They say they're not, but I don't think they're right. They're more right than they were, and I would have to write it out and do paperwork. And trust me when I say I think they're much closer than they were in Season 3. But I don't think they're completely accurate. Like for Ray Skeleton Archers, on sheet their damage is lower, right? But actually they're better, and the reason being it has to do with their high base damage. And the second part is they seem to have some collision properties with their arrows that are similar. I'm sure you guys are going to have a heart attack with the Throw Baba collision on their weapons, right? How it can hit multiple enemies at once. Don't take that for gospel, but Archers seem so good, there has to be something else going on with them. Mages suck. How much were they buffed? Not even that much, to be honest. Oh, that's 36. Oh, okay, sorry. Might be. Did he not even buff them? That's actually pretty buffed. I think that's about the damage they used to do in game gear. Maybe a little lower, actually. But, yeah, trust me. If you want to make your mage build, they're better than ever. Go for it, buddy. This is the suggested solo build. What is this for? Oh, for level 86. I would change one thing. I actually, if you're just playing solo, I would go Ray Skeleton Warrior, Skeleton Mastery, Skeleton Archer, and then once you get to Hell, I would point dump amp damage. Once you get to 50, then go to Golem Mastery. It kind of depends. It's just you really want minus 50 because the best thing you can do as a Necromancer is farm Ubers. And then you could say, but don't you want life tap as well? That is a good point. I guess just for leveling, though, it's kind of hard. Basically, if you're going to do Ubers, you need to get Curse Mastery right, which will kind of deduct some points from here. So at that point, go 1 and 1. It's like, do you want to use a respec or don't you want to use a respec? If you don't mind using a respec for when you farm Ubers, this is probably fine. But when you do farm Ubers, you basically cut points from Golem Mastery, prioritize minus 50 amp, at least minus 33, and Curse Mastery to 10 life tap. So let's move on. This is a very good guide. And this is the Uber farmer, of course. What does he do? Level 90. Yeah, you might be a higher level. Only 1 point. See, again, I think I would cut points from Golem Mastery. Let me read what he says. I think I'm not sure how much more extra golems will help, but I love golems. But so yeah, he did budget testing. I didn't do budget testing on Ubers. If he thinks having Golem Mastery is better than more points in the amp, more power to him. So, the Tri-Curse. Oh, yes. I don't know. So, I guess I'll talk about this real quickly. If you want to play Tri-Curse in a map, you actually shouldn't use archers. Archers do a lot of damage, but they're super squishy. I'm the Skeleton King. What I would do is either... by the way, I'd put 1 point revive into all of these builds. 1 point revive is always useful. Okay, he has it in those. I'd put 1 point revive into this too. I would just go 20 and 20. And then you either go more points in the curses or Golem Mastery. I know. I'm sorry, guys. The problem is, like, I would run mages over archers. I mean, maybe they do enough damage, but they're so squishy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But, yeah. Skeletons are great for, by the way, skeletons are great for mapping because they're the tankiest summon with in-game gear. They just have a ridiculous amount of life and a ridiculous amount of health regen. It's one of the biggest things about them is their high health regen. No, this is not how you make an elemental revive build. This is wrong. This is wrong. Here's how you do it. You max elemental revives. You max lower resist. For budget, you probably just max desecrate. At that point, it's either about Curse Mastery or Golem Mastery, depending on what you want to do, and you run Act 3 Merc. Now, if you're going for the in-game Elemental Revive build, oh, he actually brings it up a bit. Oh, I brought it up earlier. Yeah, I actually think the best build is 20-point Revive, 20-point Lower Resist, 20, 20, and 20. And this is kind of what he's doing here. The reason why I think that is there's some interesting combination with Act 1 Merc, Elemental Revives, Archers, Golems, and Lower Resist, where basically your Fizz damage is strong enough that they smash everything. Oh, that's not what he's doing. Yeah, don't use this. Use this. Your Fizz damage smashes everything, and then your Elemental Revives are your big AoE. And I'll make a video about it. I already have one up. You can listen to me blah blah about it in that. The Skelly Army. He just had to make it. Why? What is this? Sorry, this is the best build. What is this? If you prefer to have a 30 Skelly army and cast Eleanor and app damage, this is it. Lol. I'm sure I'm sure this is viable. Every single skeleton is better than it was in Season 3, including mages. But, I mean, they were pretty garbage. But, like, they're so much better, they might not be just pure garbage. So, yeah, there you go, guys. Have fun. I'm going to read these final thoughts. I wanted to finish with a few thoughts on these subjects to clarify some points I covered or missed in the guide. We are still waiting to find out if... Yeah, I did bring that up. Okay. Fire golems are bugged. Or... Right. Maybe don't call it bugged. They don't like calling it bugged. Fire golems stop scaling at skill level 9. There you go. The aura, which affects the punch damage. Very good. There is a physical portion of the punch damage, but it's so low it really doesn't matter. But there are other scaling factors in fire golems. It's just, don't even worry about it. It's like, if you want to know more about it, I don't know, bug Ren. Iron Golem is going to be so good now. In fact, I want to bring this up. Because base damages are so high, let me see if he did this. Smart. Less smart. What is this? Oh, Tricurse. I think maybe you could even just use an Iron Golem on this too. Basically, Iron Golems were buffed and base damage was buffed. I guess you don't quite need it. See, I think even just put 1 point into Iron Golem. I think Iron Golem should just be something that everybody with 20 points in the Golem Mastery should just use. Like Solo Farmer, exactly. Throw 1 point into Iron Golem. Make any rune word out of it. Base damage is so high. Use a Mage Slayer. They're super cheap. You can buy Mage Slayers for like a few Worldstone shards. And it adds another like 100 ED to all your minions. Which for an Archer would be 1,000 damage. Okay? Anything else? No. I think that's it, guys. Top Nub, this guide is... You put a lot of work into this, I know. And I want you to relax and understand that a lot of life is people looking for affirmation, not information. And I always appreciate that not that you used to lurk, because I never lurk, I'm just an asshole. But I always appreciate that you actually studied information people put in the Discord before, being too loud of a voice. And I hope anybody who watches this video will just learn from that it's not that you may be wrong, but maybe somebody is more right than you are and has a larger perspective than you do on Necromancer summons, especially in PD2. All right, guys. Have fun in Season 4. I'm going to be playing, and the world is your oyster. Crack it open.
Consider the possibility that God does not like you, and never wanted you. In all probability, he hates you.